morning from Medan. I am currently in Medan, which is the capital city of North Sumatra, and Medan is actually the third largest city in Indonesia after Jakarta, Surabaya, and then of course Medan. I was researching this and trying to figure out what's actually different about Medan. Little did I know, according to census population in 2000, back then, over 300,000 Chinese Indonesian are actually located in North Sumatra. Around 200,000 of it are actually based in Medan. That in itself accounts for 10 to 15% of the Medan population, and that was even back then in 2000. So that was about 18 years ago, and I am currently in front of a Tjong mansion, which is one of the very famous Chinese Indonesian, Chinese that moved to Indonesia and gained its business and successful life in Medan. And we'll see actually how much Chinese influence that Indonesia has, particularly in Medan, long before Indonesia gained its independence. That'll be interesting. Siapa? So the building itself, this is actually still a private residence to the successor and family of Tjong, and the price ticket to enter to this place is actually 35,000 rupiah, about less than $3. Behind me is the photographs of the whole family, and they are actually still preserving this mansion to the exact architectural and how it used to be still, because you can see all the decoration and the architecture style is very much Chinese Malay. Behind me is the Tjong himself. He was born in Guangdong province in China, and at the age of 18, he actually came to Sumatra with his brother, and since then he grew lots of business. He tried to assimilate to the local culture, even with the Dutch leaders, something like that, during the colonial times, and with the Chinese businessman that was based in Indonesia. So he grew a very, very successful business, and he's quite famous, very famous actually, because he also is a generous person in terms of how he helps building a mosque, a temple, and many other things in Medan. This mansion is actually considered to be a heritage museum in Medan, and if you can see, a lot of the details of the interior design has Chinese Malay influences, and back in the days the Tjong has developed a very close relationship with the Dutch leaders, as I mentioned, also even with Delhi Sultanate. This is the son, and the other one, Delhi Sultanate. Delhi is actually, there was a kingdom in Sumatra. So by building such close relationship with all of these prominent people, he has gained a very prominent position and became a mayor in 1916. Behind me is a living room, and actually this particular place was used back in the days by Tjong family, also the Delhi Sultanate, to celebrate the Spring Festival. Part of the Chinese culture and the assimilation between those two prominent figures. Speaking of Chinese New Year, it is actually one of the official and recognized holidays in Indonesia, starting from around 2000, and back in the days from 68 to 99 during the Suharto era, it was banned. However, during the Megawati presidency, which is the first female president of Indonesia, the Chinese New Year has been legalized as one of the official holidays. This is quite unique, right? Because this Chinese Malay actually reminds me of the Peranakan, the term used for Chinese Malay descendants that is also located in Penang, Singapore, and how the Chinese community back in the day spread out throughout Southeast Asia and used trading. One of the very famous local transport that you should try in Medan is called bentor, which is basically bentor kan Pak? Bentor. So which is basically Medanese tuk-tuk, because normally tuk-tuk in Jakarta looks a lot like the one in other parts of Southeast Asia, whereas in Medan you have the bike itself attached to the tuk-tuk for us to sit. Medan is quite famous as well for its quite bad infrastructure and lots of honkings and quite bad traffic. I have just arrived to one of the famous legendary noodle shop that has been here since 1975, which means well, the problem of vlogging around alone in public, but since 1975 until this day, that means that's been over 43 years. And I would like to see, because the noodles is owned by a Chinese Indonesian, I think to assimilate a little bit better to reach wider audience, they have a halal sign, which means they don't actually quite use pork. So I've got my chicken, not really chicken, sorry, I've got my noodles, because instead of using chicken as a main topping, they use a combination of fish balls, I think, and shrimp, a little bit of here, and this is actually dog's eggs. Noodles has always a special place in my heart, so the noodle is actually using a specialized ketchup that is self-made using the chicken skin. So it's fatty and greasy, tasty. I spoke a little bit to the owner, which is the second generation that is still doing and making the noodles herself to keep the taste to its original taste. This started when she was a little childhood by her own parents, but currently they live in Jakarta and she's the only one who continued the business. And I can see that she is trying to maintain the original taste to it. And sometimes, right, I try my best to talk to the local or to the owner, but not all owners are comfortable talking in front of the camera or to be featured, and not interested in, you know, promoting such and such, and probably because they're already famous and they don't need such publication, or not really interested in being involved in type of thing. So I was chatting to her, but I could not really feature her. So hopefully my next destination that I am going to tonight for dinner will include a lot more stories, feature her story, and hopefully I can actually chat. After visiting the quite legendary Noodles place, I am currently in front of Kue Tiao Alin actually, which is a local food of Kue Tiao with kangkung belacan. Kangkung is actually morning glory and belacan is, I think, shrimp paste. They actually open at 6 p.m. every day. Perfect time for dinner, and I is still preparing. And she is still the one who cooks the food herself. Make it very true to its taste. I is still using charcoal, if you can see, because it actually preserves the taste. And so it's quite smoky to the taste. Alin Ain.
Ya, cantik.
Ini Sya, Ainnya masih muda.
70 lebih aku.
Umurnya?
73.
Hah?
Aku usaha udah 30 tahun. Dari muda sampai tua.
大去了广州，然后上海、北京、南京也是，昆明也是。
杭州也是。
哦，杭州也是。你喜欢杭州吗？
喜欢。
To thicken the gravy, just like that, I actually use duck's egg because it has reddish color to it and makes the gravy to be a lot more tasteful. Gak apa-apa ya?
Nggak apa-apa.
Jadi Ayu udah 30 tahun kan, kalau bikin kayak gini, bumbunya itu ngeracik sendiri.
Itu pakai opak sendiri. Tadinya aku nggak bisa masak, tapi lama-lama aku lihat orang dia itu ya, aku bisa. Langganan aku dari kecil
Udah besar ya?
sampai besar, sampai nikah, sampai ada anak masih makan di sini.
Iyalah, berarti udah bagian dari sejarah Medan ya.
Orang Singapura, orang Malaysia juga makan di sini.
Iya. Berarti maksudnya dulu langsung bikin telur bebek gitu.
Iya, tapi emang mau pakai telur bebek. Kalau telur ayam kurang wangi.
Iya, betul.
Ini telur bebek kenapa wangi? Dia makan kepala udang.
Pelanggan Ayu udah mancanegara, melebihi yang nonton video ini. Makasih ya sudah boleh video.
Sama-sama.
Jangan bosan ya kalau diganggu. Terima kasih Ayu.
Iya.
Good morning, beautiful people. Today is my last day in Medan. I have to go to this particular local eatery. It's called Bihun Bebek, which is translates to obviously that has duck meat as the topping instead of chicken. This is the owner. Halo Koko, halo
Yo,
gitu.
halo.
Jadi ini namanya Koko Atak ya.
Ya, Atak, ya.
Owner sudah dari tahun berapa tuh Koko?
1980.
Nah sekarang saya mau coba makanannya.
Kebun ini kan banyak rempah-rempah
Ya.
dari Cina gitu.
Ya, jadi lebih ke rempah-rempah ya rasanya ya Kok?
Ya, betul ya. Ini dari dulu pun udah ada resep gitu.
Ya. Itu kemarin bikin resep itu apa memang bikin sendiri? Gimana ngeraciknya kok?
Termasuk buatan sendiri
Buatan
kita
sendiri.
ini.
Berarti-
Nah, kita pelan-pelan tuh ya resepnya gitu supaya bisa kombinasi jadi yang enak gitu.
Jadi dia masaknya nggak lama ya kok?
Enggak.
Biar
Ini
nggak lembek
memang
ya?
udah masak punya ini.
Oh gitu. Jadi
Dan ini
udah-
bukan mentah kali, bukan.
Oh.
Banyak ada paha, ada dada.
Ah. Berapa lama nganget ini bebeknya berarti di itu kan? Di
Itu paling sedikit mau 3 jam. Kalau kuahnya mau 1 hari.
Berarti fresh tiap hari kan ya kuah?
Iya. Ya buatan ini bukan sekedar kita bilang kuah dimasak gitu jadinya gitu.
Iya, enggak.
Ini bawang putih.
Iya, bawang putih. Biar gurih ya.
Merica.
Merica.
Nah, ini udah siap. Udah bisa?
Udah. So
yuk.
I have my bihun bebek right here. So bihun bebek is basically vermicelli with duck as the topping.
Ya.
Kenapa ini pakai bebek?
Itu kalau kita punya kos semua pakai bebek itu semua, nggak ada ayam. Ya memang waktu itu memang kebanyakan orang ayam semua itu gitu kan.
Akhirnya
Jadi
punya.
ayamnya lama-lama kita pikirkan kalau semua orang makan ayam aja itu kan
Bosan
rasanya
ya.
itu aja bosan juga.
Wah, bebek.
Ada spesial makan bebek.
Spesial khusus makanya.
Gitu.
Jadi udah pelanggannya udah banyak yang bertahun-tahun.
Iya, iya.
They use a lot of spices and that's why it smells really nice. Actually very fragrant and it tastes slightly sweet. Unik ya rasanya kok. Texture of the vermicelli is not too mushy. A little bit of vermicelli and duck. The flesh, the duck meat. Jadi Koko dulu lahir memang di Medan ya?
Ya, di Medan.
Dari Medan semua, terus orang tua juga
Iya, iya.
dari Medan.
Iya, iya.
Ada cerita menarik nggak dari 40? Berarti kan kalau dari 40 itu sebelum Indonesia merdeka.
Iya,
Iya kan?
iya memang orang itu waktu jualan itu memang belum. Belum, iya. Waktu itu jalannya kan orang itu merantau dari Cina.
Dari mana? Provinsi?
Ya, dari Kongtung gitu.
Oh, Guangdong ya?
Chongsan itu,
Chongsan.
Chongsan.
Oh.
Sampai di sini dia kan termasuk orang kerja buruh gitu lah,
Iya, iya,
termasuk
iya,
bangunan
iya, iya.
gitu kan. Dia kakak beradik 2 orang datang. Kapan kita bisa maju katanya? Untuk cari solusinya lah gitu lah.
Betul,
Untuk
betul.
jualan makanan atau apa gitu. Nah, dia itulah dia jual mie Hokkien gitu. Itu mie Hokkien itu termasuk mie udang gitu. Waktu itu kita masih kecil gitu kan. Umurnya kira-kira umurnya 8 tahun, 9 tahun gitu lah. Kita bantu dia. Waktu itu nggak ada pakai minyak lampu, nggak apa minyak tanah nggak ada.
Pakai apa?
Kayu bakar gitu.
Oh.
Aku tiap hari angkat kayu
Oh, iya.
dari dalam, angkat keluar
Wah,
gitu.
udah
Kecil gini aja tuh.
Migrasi, gimana cara bertahan, terus udah gitu akhirnya roba rasa dari
Sekarang
mie,
gitu lah.
mie udang. Iya betul. Banyak.
Rupanya udah kita bikin ini banyak minat juga
Iya.
gitu. Jadi banyak orang dari luar juga, dari Kongkou, dari mana itu.
Ya, banyak deh.
Termasuk itu Cina bagian utara gitu lah, banyak
iya.
datang itu. Orang Malaysia juga gitu, banyak kok. Orang Kuala Lumpur, orang Surabaya, orang Bali sana kan kebanyakan suka makan bebek.
I understand why it's famous. Ngerti lah saya kenapa banyak orang suka. I think right now there's so many bihun bebek. I think having a long history, it tells a lot how much even people love this type of food.
Ini masakan semua ini kan di Medan kan beda-beda juga semua itu.
Rasanya ya.
Bukan lu jual bihun bebek sama ini enggak.
Bangga lah saya dengarnya panjang cerita ininya.
Oh, nggak apa.
Sejarahnya
Ya,
gitu.
memang gitu.
There is such a good history of a particular food and I am so blessed that Koko allows us to actually listen to his story. Makasih ya Kok.
Yuk.
Udah mau pulangin waktu. Saya mau lanjutin makan.
Maaf, lanjutin.
Iya.
Yuk,
Terima kasih
ya,
ya
oke,
Kok.
yuk,
Lanjut
yuk,
makan ya.
silakan, ya.